Hello, and welcome to today's live Writer's Digest webinar titled Get Paid to Write, How to Land Paying Gigs Writing Copy and Content with Rebecca Matter. This webinar is sponsored by AWAI. Rebecca Matter is a copywriter, founder of Wealthy Web Writer, named one of the 101 best websites for writers by Writer's Digest, and a co-managing partner of AWAI, American Writers and Artists Incorporated, the world's leading trainer of direct response copywriters. A marketer with over 15 years of experience in publishing and direct marketing, Rebecca has spearheaded several successful million-dollar campaigns for countless products, both offline and online, and has spoken and written on topics ranging from getting and working with clients to successful web marketing strategies. And I'm not going to take any more of Rebecca's time, and I'm just going to ask her to unmute herself at this point and to begin her presentation, and I won't jump in unless you need me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Get Paid to Write, How to Land Paying Gigs Writing Copy and Content. My name is Rebecca Matter, and I'm going to be with you for the next 45 minutes to an hour going over just one of the most exciting things that has happened to writers in a very long time. I've been a Writer's Digest reader for years, and some of the best writers who work for me actually came from Writer's Digest. So I'm excited to have this opportunity to actually sit and talk to you and help you understand where the opportunities are for writers and how to land those projects and get paid for them. So our goals for today, and this is kind of, we have a lot of material to cover. I really want to take advantage of this opportunity to be here with you for an hour, and I want to make sure that you have all of the information that you need to be doing this, to go after these projects and start doing the work and getting paid for your skills. So we have a lot to cover, and I do speak very fast, but know that I will be giving Writer's Digest the PowerPoint slides for this presentation. So if you miss something, feel free to go back and download the PowerPoint, and you will be able to go back at your leisure and go through this again. But so for today, we're going to go through a skill that I think every writer should know that will help you land the best gigs. I'm going to go over the 5 best paying opportunities for writers. Keep in mind there are tons of really good paying opportunities for writers, but I'm going to go over the best 5. We're limited to an hour. We'll go over the fees for those assignments so that you'll have a good idea of what to expect and kind of understand what companies are paying for these types of assignments right now. I'll show you where to find quality clients, how to land the job, and then finally we'll close out with some best practices for success before I open up the Q&A. So just real quick before we get started, just who am I? She touched on a minute ago that I had 15 years of experience in the publishing industry. The majority of my career has been in marketing, but I have worked for publishers pretty much my entire career. I started in print, and then eventually I moved into online, and now AWI is kind of a hybrid of both. We do printed materials as well as online. I've personally worked with and hired and helped train over hundreds of well-paid writers in those 15 years, both on the author side of things as well as on the promotional copywriting side of things. I personally write articles and training programs on building a successful writing business, and I love, love, love helping writers make good money. I fell into this career, I fell into AWI about 10 years ago, and I have just fallen in love with the writing community, and there's nothing, I feel blessed every single day that my job is to help writers make a lot of money, because you have this amazing talent and this ability that is in such demand, as you're about to see, by thousands and hundreds of thousands of companies around the world. So just real quick as well, who AWAI is, for those of you who aren't familiar, I joined the company about 10 years ago, but AWAI has actually been around since 1997. They're the publisher of, and you might have received an email on this in the past, over the years. We've promoted 2 Writer's Digest for a long time now, but we're the publisher of the Accelerator Program for Six-Figure Copywriting, which is actually the industry's definitive program on writing direct response copy. Many companies take our program and actually use it for their in-house teams, as well as then turn around and hire our freelance writers. But the thing that I think makes AWI stand apart from, other companies out there, or just anyone publishing in this area, is that we pride ourselves on not only giving you the skills. It's not just about learning how to write good copy or how to be a well-paid writer, but also the tools and access necessary to find clients and build a successful writing business. Because at the end of the day, even if you have these great skills, if you can't get anyone to pay you for them, then, you know, it's a great education, but you're not doing anything with it. And so we not only just give you the skills, but we show you how to land work, we show you how to work with clients, how to see it through, how to be paid properly for what you're worth, all of it. We really take you from the beginning all the way through the business side of things. And that's what makes me very proud of this company that I started with, again, 10 years ago, and now am a managing partner of. So you, as I started off, are in the right place at the right time. I just want to go over a couple of these things because I want you to understand just how needed you are, and the skills that you have are so needed. Right now, writers are in high demand, high demand. And the reason is that now, thanks to the internet and social media and everything else out there, companies who are used to providing a service or producing a product or something that they're looking to sell now have to publish all of this copy and all of this content just in order to compete with their competitors and be what their customers are. They need to be on social media. They need to be online. And they're being forced to publish. But they're not publishers. They are manufacturers. They are providers of services. That's not their business. Their business isn't writing. Their business isn't publishing. So writers are needed. Writers are the people who can come in and help these businesses do that marketing side of their business that they're not really equipped to do and don't really want to do because they want to focus on the business that they're running. So good writers have never been in higher demand. In addition, that increase in demand means higher fees for writers. And what I'm going to show you when we actually talk about the fees for each of the projects, those are the fees that are being obtained now by writers. But those, as I'm getting feedback from our writers and I'm getting feedback from marketers who are out there hiring writers, those fees are actually increasing. So the increase in demand is driving up the fees for writers. Plus, with the increase in demand, there's less writers out there who can do the work, which means those writers who can charge more. Writers now have the power. Thank you very much, Google. You would be hard-pressed to find a business nowadays that isn't doing business online, that doesn't have some kind of online presence. And Google recently has said that if you don't have good content on your website, see you later. We're not going to show up. You're not going to show up in the search results anymore. So this is important for companies. They have to go out now and hire good quality writers. They can't hire people who don't understand what good writing is. They can't hire people, they can't outsource to people who are willing just to turn around this junky content just so they can get something on their website and be found on Google. It has to be quality content. Google is judging the quality. Plus, Google is now rewarding writers who write a lot and giving them better placement, which puts the power in the hands of the writers. The more you write, the more Google likes you, the more they value you, the more they value you, the writer, not just your company that you're working for, but you, which means that once Google knows who you are and once you start writing a lot, companies will be coming to you because you'll be able to get better placement for them in the search engines than they would ever be able to get by themselves just on their company name alone. This is also great for those of you who are looking to publish, either publish your own books or help your publishers market the books that they've published for you. You can now compete with some of the biggest name authors out there and biggest publishing companies out there because Google is rewarding good quality writing. They're rewarding you. So that puts you in a power position at this point. And finally, you love to write. I mean, that's why I'm so excited to be doing this presentation to Writer's Digest. The one thing I can't teach people is to love writing. I can teach them the skills that they need to write copy. I can show them how to promote themselves. I can show them how to do the work. I can show them everything else, but I can't make somebody love writing and reading. In my experience, most writers are also big readers, and in all of these opportunities that we're going to go over today, there's a good percentage of reading that has to be done. You want to be in touch with the people who are out there and what they're interested in reading, what they're talking about, and so you do a lot of reading as a writer. And so the fact that you love to write and hopefully read, that's one of the biggest benefits that you bring to the table when approaching these writing opportunities. So now there is one skill. When we talk about all these opportunities and ways that you can make money as a writer, there's one skill that will fast track your freelance writing success across the board. And that's learning how to write persuasively. Now, we also talk about it as copywriting, but the reason we like to say writing persuasively is that when people think about the word copywriting, and I recently published an article about this on the Writer's Digest website that I recommend that you read, The Myths of Copywriting. When people say the word copywriting, some people have an idea of what that is. But really, it's not just about writing ad copy and direct mail and things like that. And even though those are great opportunities, learning how to write persuasively is all about engaging with somebody and connecting with them on an emotional level and truly speaking to them as though they're just one person. It's you to them, and hopefully moving them towards something that you want them to do, whether it's to turn the page of your book, whether it's to buy your book, whether it's to click a link, whatever it is, being able to guide someone towards something that you want, being persuasive. So by learning how to write persuasively, and again, whether you do any of these opportunities or not, you will make more money as a writer, whether it's taking advantage of the opportunities I'm showing you, whether it's selling more of your book, whether it's landing an agent or getting into a publisher. Being able to write persuasively will benefit you on many levels. In addition, you'll be a more effective writer. You will engage readers at a deeper level. You will get them to continue turning those pages and getting them to do what you want, whether it's to buy your next book or whatever it is. You'll be a more effective writer, and you'll be able to sell your writing services. It's that much easier to get clients when you know how to write persuasively. And your book, again, you'll be able to get your foot in the door with agents and publishers and just understand what it is that other person wants and persuade them to do what it is that you want, whether it's to read your book, buy your book, publish your book, whatever it is. So now that we've talked about that skill, that persuasive writing skill, I want to talk about the top 5 opportunities for writers. This is the big piece of this presentation. But keep in mind that all of these opportunities tie back to persuasion. If you are a persuasive writer, you will be able to do all of these jobs very well. And this is why these fees that you're going to see, the money that people are making through these opportunities, this is why companies are willing to pay these writers this amount, because they understand these opportunities, what the intention of the content is, and they're able to be persuasive. And so when I'm going through these, keep in mind that these are the top 5 opportunities for writers, and it assumes that you understand, this basic of persuasion. The first one, this is when we think about copywriting, this is what most of us think about, direct response sales letters. That's going to be the #1 highest paid. That's where you're going to make the most money as a copywriter. Now, keep in mind, there are lots of other opportunities, but it would be a disservice to the industry if I didn't talk about sales letters. So first, just to make sure we're all on the same page, what makes it direct response? Direct response, you're targeting one reader at a time. Even though you're sending out, or the company is sending out multiple copies of that mail package or multiple copies of that promotion, you are speaking to one person. So it's me, Rebecca Matter, writing to you. I'm not talking to all of you. I'm not writing on behalf of AWAI or all of us. It's just you and me. We're having a conversation. So that's direct response. It drives that person that you're talking to take an action, like buy something, sign up for a newsletter, click a link, donate to a charity, download a report, whatever it is. There's some form of call to action in there. And each action can be tracked. The results are measurable. So I can tell how many people clicked that link. I can tell how many donations my letter got. I can tell if somebody bought something. So it's talking to one person, it's getting that person to take an action, and then tracking that action. Now, the key point of direct response is that the results are measurable, and that is why direct response copywriters make so much money. It's not because they can write, some copywriters can write these great, big promises and exciting sales letters that get people to put down their credit cards and buy stuff. It's not just about that. It's the fact that when sales are made, the company can track it back to their efforts. So they know copywriter Rebecca made us this much money. Copywriter Rebecca brought in this many donations. Copywriter Rebecca got this many people to download the report. It's measurable, so they know how much value you're bringing to the table. You don't have to convince them. The numbers show them, and so that's why they're willing to pay you so much money. Now, here's the fees that you can expect for writing direct response sales letters, and these are going to vary by lots of different things. But traditionally, or typically, you're going to find the ranges from about $2,000 to $10,000 and a lot more. There are going to be copywriters. This is the kind of the main range. But there are going to be copywriters who make a lot more. I know copywriters who make $25,000 for a sales letter. I know copywriters who make $100,000 for a single sales letter. That's just the fee. But this is what you can expect. I'm trying to give you more realistic expectations in this presentation. Plus, and not all sales letters pay royalties, but a good portion will pay some type of royalty on the sales. Typically, the royalty is between 2 and 10%. And so if you think, just run these numbers out. If you get paid $10,000 to do a sales letter, to write the letter, and then 10% of royalties on that letter, and the letter brings in $1 million in sales, pretty nice paycheck, right? And the fee will depend on the length of the letter. So you'll see letters anywhere from 4 pages. They might be 15 pages. It could be 20 pages. So the fee will depend on how long that letter is and the revenue projected. Are you writing a sales letter for a yoga studio that's hoping to bring in $50,000 a year, or are you writing a sales letter for a yoga equipment manufacturer who's looking to bring in $5 million this year? That's going to affect how much the company can afford to pay and how much value that sales letter is bringing to the company. But still, a pretty amazing opportunity. And I personally know dozens, if not hundreds, of copywriters making very good money just writing direct response sales letters, not just in the mail, those printed things that you get in your mailbox, but online as well. Sales letters are an incredible opportunity for writers to make a very good living. So how do you land direct response sales letters jobs? The first thing would be to learn how to write direct response copy. And the program that I talked about at the beginning, the accelerated program for 6-figure copywriting, does exactly that. It shows you how to write sales letters. So start there, but there are other ways to learn it as well. Choose an industry that you enjoy. Like I mentioned at the beginning, you'll do a lot of reading. You're going to want to know who those buyers are and who's going to be reading the sales letter and what they're interested in. So choose an industry that you enjoy being in and reading about. It could be anything. I mean, if you have a passion for alternative health, if you have a passion for your pets, if you have a passion for classic cars, whatever it is, just choose something that you enjoy because you're going to be doing a lot of reading. And so you want to write about something that interests you. And then figure out a problem, whether it's copywriters in general are problem solvers. So whether it's a problem that your client could be having, they need more customers, for example, or whether it's a problem their customers may be having. Let's say you're in alternative health and they're looking for a non-pharmaceutical solution to diabetes or whatever it is, being overweight, obesity, whatever it is, figure out that problem and then offer to solve it. Look at the products that they have and just present that information. I think your readers would be interested. For example, Writer's Digest, right? We used to not promote the copywriting program to Writer's Digest, but someone came to us one day and said, hey, Writer's Digest, these writers are looking to make a living as a writer. They are working on their fiction or their screenplays. They've got this, they have this passion. But the problem is that they have this day job and family and all these other things that are pulling them away from their passion. What if you offered the copywriting program to them so that they could make a living as a writer, working less hours a day or being a little more flexible with their daytime schedule so that they could focus more time on their fiction or on their screenplay so that they could progress faster and they could get that published work out there faster. The problem is that Writer's Digest readers and writers in general who were working on fiction needed more time, but they had this great skill. So what if we could teach them to be copywriters? That would solve their problem. They'd have more time. They'd make more money. They wouldn't have to have day jobs that took them away from their fiction, and they'd be able to have more time writing. So they came to us and said, here's a problem. Let me offer to solve it. And you might have seen the sales. We've sent you a promotion over the years by a woman named Pat McCord. She's a published author. She was a Writer's Digest reader, and she came to us with this problem. Hey, I know all these other writers just like me. I'm now a copywriter. It solved this problem. Maybe we can tell Writer's Digest readers about this problem and help solve it. So that's a great way of pitching or presenting the idea for a sales letter. And then once you get a few gigs, the rest will oftentimes come to you. It's only going to take you a couple of sales letters to turn this into a very steady business for yourself, whether it be that the clients that you work for lock you up or that they refer you out or that people just start finding you. Once you get started, once that ball starts rolling, it gets rolling pretty fast, and the rest oftentimes will be beating on your door to have you do sales letters for them. Okay, so that was sales letters. Let's move on to the second one. The second one is going to be online content. Now, this is oftentimes the most misunderstood opportunity, and I read about it and I hear about it and I cringe on a daily basis because I watch people talk about this opportunity inaccurately, both on the blogging side of things, on article side of things. They don't understand the value of content, what it is they're doing, and they don't understand the purpose of the content. So when I talk about online content and where this opportunity is, this is what I'm talking about. First, understand the mistake that most people are making. They feel that online content, the reason for their blog posts, the reason for their articles, are to impress their readers and prove authority. Now, those are things that can and should also be done, but that's not the purpose of good online content, and that's not the purpose of what you as the writer are doing when you're writing online content for companies who are willing to pay you a lot of money for it. The real purpose and the reason why they'll pay you so much money is that you are going to write online content. Its purpose is to attract prospects, to attract future customers for that business, attracting the right kind of people, not just attracting random people who may or may not be interested in what that company has to sell, but writing content that their prospective buyers are interested in. Engaging readers. Once they find your client, continuing just engaging them on a deeper level. That goes back to persuasion. Being able to really connect with their readers and get them interested in what the company has to say. And then nurturing that relationship, moving them along and building a relationship so that they know who your client is and that they enjoy hearing from them and realize how much information and how much value they bring to the table. And then finally, preparing them for the sale. You may go to websites and read blogs and content and think that there is nothing else happening, that they're just providing you with good content. Not true. They are moving you towards a sale, whether it is to sign up for a webinar, whether it is to attend a conference or buy a book or something. There is something that's happening down the line that you're not seeing yet that they are preparing you for. The whole reason to prove your credibility and your authority up front is that when I go to make that sale later on, you already know who I am. You already trust me. It makes the sales letter's job a lot easier. So that's where online content falls into this, and this is why companies are willing to pay so much money for online content. So here are some fees that you can expect, anywhere from $100 to $500 per piece. And when you think about online content, you're thinking about what you would imagine a blog to be or an article. You know, it's going to depend on the length, and the page will range anywhere from 800 words to 2,000 words. That's pretty typical for online content. But those fees will depend on the length. You know, obviously, if you're writing a 500-word article, it might be less than if you were writing a 2,000-word article. And the complexity of the topic, who are you speaking to, and how difficult how many other writers could write on the exact same thing. So that's pretty good, right? For 800 words to be paid, $300, you can bang out 800 words in an hour. It's very doable, especially those of you who love to write. I'm sure you've cranked out those many words in a very short amount of time on a regular basis. Also, with online content, retainer deals are possible. And a retainer is just a company pays you on a regular basis. They know that they're going to need 6 pieces of online content from you a month. And so they're willing to say, okay, Rebecca, we'll pay you $2,500, and we want 6 1,000-word pieces every month. And that's what a retainer deal is. It's money that you can count on month after month. So that's one of the reasons why I have online content in my top 5, is because it gives you a little bit of security. You know where the money is coming from month after month. So how to land online content deals. And remember, I'm going to show you how to find the clients at the end of this presentation because it's the same for all, whereas the fees and the how to land is different for each of the opportunities. But so how to land the client, you will read content on websites of interest. Again, this goes back to find a topic that you're interested in. You're going to have to write a lot. You're going to have to read a lot. It may as well be something that you are interested in. So read content on those websites. Determine who their audience is and ultimately what they're trying to sell. Remember, there's a sale coming somewhere. And by just signing up for their e-letter or engaging in their website, you will see what those things are. Is it a webinar? Is it a conference? Is it a book or a program or a service or whatever it is? Figure out what they're trying to sell and then put together a list of relevant topics to that audience that also ties in that goal, whatever the goal is of the website. And then when pitching and presenting your ideas, keep in mind the intention of the company. So this is where a lot of writers fall short when it comes to trying to land online content gigs. They think more about themselves and what they can talk about and not necessarily what the company actually needs and what their audience actually wants. But by turning it around, even if it's the same article idea, by turning around and saying, here's why your readers would be interested in this, here's what this will do for you, it changes the conversation and immediately puts you in a more valuable position. So for example, let's say I wanted to write an article for AWAI. You might say, Rebecca, I've got a great idea for an article on 5 ways to build confidence when selling your writing services. I think that this article will help AWAI members land more writing jobs, and I know that you, Rebecca from AWAI, want as many writers to be as successful as possible because that's just going to help what you're doing. That's just going to help your mission. It's going to be easier for you, and it's going to build even more credibility the more successful writers you turn out. Of course I want this article written because they're right. What I care about, what I care most and what AWAI needs is for our people to be successful, because the more successful that they are, the easier it is for us to sell programs and to turn more writers into success stories. So it just makes, so this is a great way of selling an article that isn't necessarily just about what the writer can write, but putting it in the perspective of what's in it for me, the client. So this is a good example and one that you can turn around and do for any industry that you're working in. So the third one is social media, and I'm assuming a lot of you are already on social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, anywhere. If you're already on it and you love engaging anyways, this might be the opportunity for you. If you're not into social media, that's okay. I've got 2 more for you right after this one. But for those of you who do like the idea of social media, first, it's all, remember, with each of these opportunities, it's all about understanding the purpose of why we're using this marketing channel. And so I'm explaining this to you from my perspective so that you understand the marketer's mindset of why we're using social media. We're not just on there just to have conversations. There are very specific purposes to why companies are engaged on social media. The first is to attract and engage new prospects. That one makes sense. We're always looking as businesses to find new subscribers, new readers, new buyers to build our business. So we're looking to attract them. That's where they're hanging out. Many people are on social media nowadays, so that's where we need to be as well. Once we've attracted them, one of the purposes of social media is to turn them into buyers. So, how do we move them down that path and get them to hopefully buy something or take some kind of action that we're looking for them to take, whether it's subscribe to Writer's Digest magazine, whether, again, it's to attend a webinar, whatever it is. We're moving them down that path. And then finally, service current customers. On the AWAI Facebook page, all of our customers are there. The majority of the people who have connected with us on there are our customers. And so it gives us one more opportunity to service them and help them. If they have a question, we want them to know that we're there, and we want to be able to give them the answer that they need quickly so that they can land that job, so that they can price the project properly, or whatever it is that they're looking for. They can get unstuck or break through that writer's block. Whatever issue they're having, they know that they can connect with us on social media. So you think about it from the client's perspective. Why are they on social media? Are they trying to bring in new people? Are they trying to turn those people into buyers? Are they trying to sell on their Facebook page, on their LinkedIn account, whatever it is? Or are they trying to service current customers? So you look at that first, figure out what the purpose is. Now, the writer's role, there are many things that a writer can do. You don't have to do all of these things, but these are things that you can do as a writer for social media. The first one is manage the communities. So managing who's part of it, just moderating those conversations, making sure everybody's playing nice, writing messages and updates. As part of the role of a social media manager or a social media writer is writing things that start conversations, that engage people, that promote products, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Back on that purpose page, writing messages and updates that tie into that purpose. You might be writing advertisements to build followers and increase engagement. So letting people know what's happening on your Facebook page, that's something that a writer could do. You might be leading discussions. We have multiple groups. We have the AWAI page, but we also have groups on Facebook for business-to-business copywriters. We have one for professional writers, and we have one for online copywriters. So we have a writer in each of those groups, and we're paying a different writer for each one just to lead discussions, for one day to get in there every single day, once a day, and say, hey, everybody, let's talk about this. They get paid for that, just to get in there and have discussions about things that they want to do, they want to know about anyways, because they also happen to be writers in that space. So it's just such a fun way to be around people that you genuinely want to talk to anyways, talking about things that you're genuinely interested in, and getting paid for it. I mean, you're getting paid because you're a writer to do these things. And then finally, this is another option, turning those engagements into content. So many great conversations are had on social media. You will get so many great ideas for online content that you can then turn around and also pitch the client on that. So fees for social media, it's going to be upwards of about $2,000 a month, depending on how much you do. It can be a lot higher, and it can be a little bit less. But if you were to do all of these things, you would easily be in the $2,000 a month range. Except that last piece, the new content, that is often priced separately. So let's say you're managing a community for a client, and you get 3 ideas because of these conversations that you were having there for new articles or new blog posts or any other piece of online content. You would then turn around and present that to your client, and that would be an additional fee. So you might write 3 articles at $500 a piece and make another $1,500 on top of your social media fee. So you see how these opportunities really add up, and you could do one of them, you could do all of them, and easily transition from a full-time job into a writing job that allows you the flexibility to have, where you set your own schedule on a daily basis. If you want to write 6 in the morning, if you want to work on your screenplay in the afternoon, that's fine. You can do these other pieces in the evening or at off hours. So number 4, and that little spot at the top is incorrect, but number 4 opportunity is emails, writing emails. This is also referred to as permission-based marketing, because the person that you're emailing has given the client permission to email them in the future. So if you receive emails from Writer's Digest, you gave Writer's Digest permission to email you. And that's what we talk about when we're saying email writing. So there are 3 key purposes of emails that you could be writing. And you could write all of these types of emails, or you might choose to write some of them or one of them. The first one is to keep prospects warm. Somebody gives you permission to email them and says, I want to hear from you. You need to engage with them on a regular basis. Otherwise, they don't know who you are. They're going to lose, they'll lose the memory of who you are. So when your client goes to sell them something or tries to engage them into taking some kind of action, there won't be that relationship there. So you are keeping those prospects warm. Emails also work to convert free names, people who've signed up for an e-letter or signed up for a report, into buyers, and they may be used to continue selling buyers. So once you've bought something, I'm sure you've received other emails from companies that you've purchased from, trying to get you to buy additional things. So those are the 3 key purposes of emails. With those in mind, there are 3 types of emails. And again, you can write one of these, you can write 2 of these, or you can be a writer who writes all 3 of these. They're all different opportunities. The first one is called an autoresponder. Now, autoresponder emails are typically, just like the word implies, they're auto-driven. So you sign up for a special report on 7 ways to lose 20 pounds in a month. Let's say something like that, okay? That's the report that you signed up for. Over the course of the next week, you'll receive a series of emails that are selling you supplements that will help you lose that weight. Those emails are automatic. They've already been written, and they're automatically put into a system that sends them out in a specific order, starting the day that you signed up for that report. Those are called autoresponders. They're auto-driven by the action that you took of signing up for that report, and they'll automatically come no matter what until you buy or until you finish the series, and then they'll move you on to something else. So those are called autoresponders. People pay a lot of money for autoresponders, just so you know. We're going to go over this, but that's a huge opportunity. The second one is called advertorials, and you've probably seen it. If you go to your inbox today, you'll probably see examples of this. It's where an email looks to be about 90% of editorial content and about 10% promotion at the end. They still deliver great content. They deliver good quality information, but they also then sell you something at the end. That's called an advertorial. And the final are sales emails. They're direct sales. Here's the product. Here's what we're trying to sell you. Here's the call to action to buy that product. Now, keep in mind that all of these are considered direct response because they each include a call to action that can be tracked. So these email writers are, when we talk about this opportunity, we're talking about people who can write emails persuasively and who understand direct response because it can get them to the reader to actually take an action. So first we'll talk about that first one, autoresponders. The fee for an autoresponder typically runs about $100 to $500 per email. And there are typically 3 to 7 emails in a series. Each email is less than 800 words because you're trying to get them into the sales letter that is trying to sell them something. And the frequency will depend on the client's marketing plan. So as often as they're putting up new reports and new ways for people to get into their funnels or into these autoresponders, that's how much each client is going to need from you. And I'm putting that in there just so that you can kind of understand the long-term workload from any one client. So the fee, again, is $105 per email. So if somebody needs 7 emails and you're at the higher end, $5 an email, that's $3,500 for 7 800-word emails. And this is not crazy numbers. I'm not even giving you the higher end. I know writers who make $500 to $1,000 per email. There's a guy, Jay White, who actually wrote our program on writing emails. He gets paid $1,000 per email. So if his client hires him for 7 emails, it takes him a day to write 7 emails. It takes him 30 minutes to write an email. So he writes half a day spends writing 7 emails, $7,000. And so I'm not even talking about those numbers. I'm just giving you the more realistic when you first get started. But the fees do go up that high. And autoresponders are great because they're so valuable to the client. They can be tracked. Clients are willing to pay you a lot, and they're really easy to write. Now, advertorials, for those of you who don't like the whole selling part of it, that doesn't feel good to you, but you believe in the product, you believe the company has good information, and so you want to write editorial, and just maybe put a little plug-in at the end, advertorials may be more your speed. So again, look in your inbox, you'll see these. It's a lot of content, really good content, and then they'll offer you something at the end, and they're not trying to just sell you something. They're giving you the content that you signed up for. They're giving you good content. But if you're interested in that content, you might also be interested in this product that they have to sell. And that's how an advertorial works. So these will often be $100 to $300 per email because you're not really doing as much selling as in an autoresponder or in a sales email. And they oftentimes are about 800 to 1,200 words, maybe because they have so much more editorial content to them. The reader is typically engaged a little bit longer. And the frequency does vary, but it is regular. AWAI, we publish one to 50 e-letters who are publishing daily. I mean, advertorials and content writing in general, it's almost difficult to wrap your mind around how much. So we publish all the content on our website. So it's no wonder why I personally employ over a dozen writers who just work for me, as does my partner, Katie, as does my marketing manager, Jackie, as does my other marketing manager, Jessica. I mean, each of us employ different writers, and we're small. So opportunity for writers is just so big. I'm so excited to have this opportunity to share this with you. So now the sales emails, the last of the 3. The fees of these are going to be higher because you possibly are selling directly from the email itself. And the closer you are to the actual sale, the more you can charge. So if you're actually able to sell in an email, click here to order now. That means you're closer to the sale. You're not having to link to a sales letter that another copywriter wrote to actually do the selling. So you'll get the higher end of the scale. But either way, the length, we're talking 500 to 2,000 words. Really not a difficult project to write. These take me a couple of hours. They take me a little bit longer than advertorials or autoresponders just because I have to think about what it is that I'm selling and make sure that I'm giving enough information to the reader. But it's a pretty easy project. And again, the frequency on these depends on what the client's marketing plans are, how often they promote via email. So how do you land email projects? Sign up to receive their emails. That's the first thing. Again, like I said on all of these, go after websites and industries that you're already interested in. Figure out what your passions are, what you don't mind reading about every single day, and then sign up to receive their emails. Go to your favorite websites. If you love AWAI, come to ours, look at our emails. You'll know exactly what type of copy we're sending out on a regular basis. But go, again, alternative health, text, whatever, yoga, whatever it is that you're into, sign up for emails and start seeing what they're sending to their readers. And then write a sample email for each type that you want to write. So if it's an autoresponder, write a sample autoresponder. If it's a advertorial, write a sample advertorial. If it's a sales email, just so you can show a potential, it doesn't have to be a real sample that anyone has mailed. Just show that you know what you're talking about so that you can show them what you would do for them. And then as you're getting emails from clients, watch for missing types. So if let's say you sign up for a special report and you don't receive any emails that tie back to that special report, contact that company and say, hey, you're not doing autoresponders here. You should really think about this. We could probably get people to buy this other product that's related to that special report. Or, hey, Mr. Client, I noticed you're only sending 2 emails after this report. What if we did it to 7? Let's give people a longer, I wasn't ready to buy after 2. I might have needed 3 or 4 emails. Let me write some more emails for you. Or, hey, Mr. Client, I noticed you have advertorials on this, that, and the other. Here are some new ideas. So watch for what's missing and then watch for opportunities to improve what they're already doing. And then remember the purpose of each email. So if you're pitching an autoresponder, if you're pitching a sales email, whatever you're pitching to the client, remember what the purpose is. And you can use all of my information if you want. Use this presentation, explain to clients, explain to marketers what the purpose of the emails are, and tell them, an email isn't just an email. Maybe you're selling something. Maybe it's an advertorial. Really use that opportunity to prove your value. And again, just use my presentation. I'm more than happy to, I'll be giving you the PowerPoint slides, but you're more than welcome to share my information with whomever. If it will help you land the job, more power to you. And then our final opportunity that I want to cover is video scripts. So there are 2 types of videos that you'll find online. The first one is called a video sales letter, also referred to as a VSL. That's not what I'm talking about here, although it is extremely lucrative, but it's very similar to the first opportunity in video form. It's basically a direct response sales letter that's delivered in video. So the opportunity, you can go back to the first opportunity, and that's pretty much the same thing. People who write VSLs, these video sales letters, are making a killing right now because they are so successful and that companies are just falling all over each other trying to get to sales letter writers who know how to write VSLs. What we're going to talk about here, though, and this is on the simpler side, but this doesn't have any selling, are content videos. You make a lot of money similar to writing content, but for writing video scripts, and you're not having to sell at all. So content videos typically give away free information. I'm sure you've seen these on YouTube or on websites that you've been to where you sign up to access 5 tips for writing a better query letter or whatever it is. It's giving away information, and it oftentimes will either teach you how to do something or inform you about a subject. It may or may not include a call to action or direct sale, but usually it's very soft. It might just be like a slide at the very end with a URL, a website address on it that people can click on to learn more information. And typically they're used to get new leads. They're looking to have you sign up to receive this, to get access to this piece of content. So the fees for video scripts are about $100 to $300 per minute, and that usually works up to about a page of copy, upwards of $500 per minute. And usually when you're pitching a video script, you're going to have a minimum of $500. So even if they only want a minute, you're still going to say it's a $500 project. Most scripts are about 3 to 5 minutes long. So yes, that does mean that if you are making $500 per minute and it's a 5-minute script, you could be making $2,500 for 5 pages of content that is really just informational or teaching. I mean, this presentation is an hour long, which you wouldn't be doing something this long, but even if you were just to write the video script for any one of these points that I'm giving you, you could make $2,500. I mean, it's crazy. And now you understand why I'm just so excited to be here and just having this opportunity to open your eyes to the opportunities that are out there for writers. So how do you land video scripts? Review their current video offerings. Do they already have videos out there? And then come up with topics that they're not doing yet. Come up with a problem that their readers may have that you can solve. Very similar to articles. If they're not using videos, propose them. Say, I noticed you have all this great content. I'd love to put together a video series for you. I think we would be even more effective at collecting new leads. And then a bonus tip, if you're doing the video script that is collecting leads, offer to write the autoresponder emails. They're going to have to send those people something, so you may as well write those too. And my fellow writers, we have only scratched the surface. There are so many writing opportunities. And again, this is why I get so frustrated. I see these articles and I see these blog posts and these webinars and all this stuff, and all they ever focus on are blogs. just one thing, or just articles. So there are so many opportunities that people don't even know about, and they're not there's no competition because there just aren't enough writers in any of these fields. Now, AWAI teaches you how to write. We have specific programs on all of this stuff, but it all goes back to persuasion. Can you write persuasively? So we are coming into the final home stretch of this presentation, and I'm going to have to fly through this part because I'm running short on time, but I want to make sure I deliver the goods on where to find the client. And when I say best clients, I mean where can you find clients who value what you bring to the table and who are willing to pay you the fees that I talk about. We're looking for real businesses here, not little, blog owners who, not to diss the blog owners, but they're not looking to pay real writers. Okay, we're looking for people who can't do it themselves, the people who don't want to do it themselves because they make a lot more money doing what they do best, running their business. So the first thing you're going to want to do, as I've talked about through this entire presentation, is to choose an industry. And you'll also hear this referred to as a niche. Choose something that you're interested in. And then go online. We're going to go to the internet and figure out where your clients' prospects are. Who are the people who are reading that e-letter, who are buying those products? Think about who the buyer is. What would they be searching for? What would they be buying from your ideal client? And how would they search for that product or service? How would they go to the internet, right? So let's say, for example, you want to work for health, you have a passion for health, and you're thinking about targeting supplement companies. You're thinking about the buyers that might contact them. Okay, maybe there's a buyer out there who's overweight. They're looking for something that will help them lose that weight, and they might be searching the internet, natural supplement for weight loss. So we go to the internet, we see what we find. We type in natural supplement for weight loss. Right away, where those two arrows are pointing, are companies who are paying to advertise on Google to people who are searching for that. So we know that these companies have marketing budgets because they're paying to advertise, and they are targeting the people that that we're thinking are their audience. So those are people that we could potentially contact, and I'll show you what we're looking for. We're going to weed them out, but we're going to weed out the bad potential clients and focus on the ones that are good potential clients. And again, good means that they have money to spend and that they value the service that you bring to the table. But this is how we're going to start our list of potential people to contact, the people who are advertising. We're also going to look at some of these other websites, the ones that are showing up in what's called the organic search results. They cannot pay to be here. They have good quality content that is telling Google to have them show up here. And the page goes on and on. We'll scroll and we'll go on for pages, and we'll start making a list of potential clients. Now, what we're looking for when we're evaluating companies to be potential clients, we're looking for real companies. We're not just looking for blogs. Again, not to diss the little blog, but that's not when we're looking for clients, the people who are willing to pay, who have the money. And when I say willing, there are hundreds of thousands of companies out there who are looking for writers for the opportunities that I just went through. But we're looking for real companies. We don't want to waste our time on people who can't afford us. We're looking for professional websites, and it's counterintuitive, but we want to go after people who are spending money on their websites because they value that tool that they've built. They've built this amazing asset to attract customers to, and they want to make sure that the copy that they're posting and that the stuff that they're putting out is high quality. So they want to hire high quality writers. We want people who have lots of content on their site. Even though, again, it's counterintuitive. You might think, well, they already have a lot of content. That's right. And because they have a lot of content, that means that they value that content and they want to keep publishing that content regularly. They have to publish new content every single week, if not every single day. So that's what we're looking for, people who are keeping up with their website, because those clients are going to be the ones that hire us again and again and again and again. And we want people who are promoting through multiple marketing channels, whether it's on pay-per-click, what you just saw those ads on Google, whether it's on banner ads, or we just see their stuff. We want people who are taking the time to promote their products and services. So I'm going to go through an example just to show you quickly how to evaluate a company. So let's just say you have a passion for conservative news, random topic. So you search on, we're putting our mind in the position of the buyer, and we type in, I'm looking for conservative news. Right away, where all the arrows are pointing are potential clients for us. So let's say we clicked on Human Events. That is right there. Human Events, that publication is a company that we could write for. All of those areas are showing opportunities. We could write their advertisements. We could write their special reports. We could write the autoresponders that go after those special reports. Where the arrow is pointing to the subscribe button, that means they have an e-letter. We could write the content for the e-letter. We could write content for the website. We could write content that converts sales emails, that converts those e-letter subscribers into buyers, into subscribers of the Human Events magazine. The third arrow over to the right is pointing to social media. We could be their social media writer. All we've done is click on one link, and we have tons of opportunities to be a writer for this company. In addition, this is an advertiser. They're paying to advertise on Human Events. Why not go and click through to their stuff and see and write for them? That's another customer. All of the advertisers on the website. So if you go to Writer's Digest, you'll see all the opportunities on their site, and then you'll see all the advertisers. Go to those people. Those are all people that could pay you for your services because they're paying to be there. They have money to spend. Other places to find clients, associations and societies. Every interest that you could possibly have will have a professional association or a professional society as part of it. Membership sites and then publications, both print and electronic. And I'm going to go through these really fast. Again, I'm going to have to speed up here at this point, but I'll give you my contact details if you have any questions, and you will have the PowerPoint presentations at the end to go through slowly. Again, associations, every group has one no matter how small. The list of members is sometimes online, which means that you'll be able to go out to all the companies who participate in that association. You'll basically get a laundry list of potential clients for yourself. The national events, most associations have a big event. Can you attend? Can you be there? Just walking around and being around all of those people, those are all potential clients for you. And then the sponsors and advertisers of the event are oftentimes displayed on the website. All of those people are paying money to be at that event and to have that presence. They can afford you. Membership sites. They're just modern versions of an association for consumers online. So many membership sites. AWAI has 3 membership sites. Wealthy Web Writer, we just launched B2B Writing Success this year, and our Professional Writers Alliance. Those are all potential clients for you. The membership site is a potential client, and the advertisers on that site are potential clients. And then finally, magazines and e-zines. The magazine is a potential client. And again, this is whatever your interests are. Find out who the magazine publishers are. Find out what e-zines they put out. That's just an electronic form of a magazine. So the magazine themselves, they're a potential client, and everybody advertising in that magazine, they're potential clients as well because they're all in that exact same industry. And people writing in the magazine are often affiliated with companies who could also be potential clients. And usually in their byline, it will have the company name as well. So how to determine the value? How do you know of all those companies? You've got a list of 100 companies that you could contact. How do you know which ones are the right ones for you? Think about what the purpose of the company is. Are they trying to sell something? If they are, most likely that's a good fit. How big is the company? Is it 1 person? Is it 10 people? You want to, the single blog owner probably isn't going to be able to afford to pay you a lot of money. Somebody who has a dozen employees, definitely you're getting there. Way large people who have 2,000, 5,000 employees, that may take a little bit longer of an engagement to get hired. So I like that mid-range, but we want a bigger company than just a single owner blog. Are they currently spending money to advertise? Did you find them in a magazine advertising? Advertisements are expensive. If they have the money to advertise in a magazine, they're going to be paying good copywriters to write their copy and content. Do they sell their own products? Are they just an affiliate, or do they have real products? Are they investing in producing things for themselves to sell? If they have their own products, they're a good client for you. And then finally, download their materials for advertisers. All big websites where you see ads, there will be a link at the bottom for, advertise with us or download our media kit. That will give you all the information about the company that you need to know. If they have that, most likely they are able to afford you and are willing to pay you a lot. And then finding the right person. Job postings, obviously, that's a great place. Immediate contact on the press releases, article bylines. When in doubt, go to the top, go to the owners, go to the co-managing partners. Last course of action, if you can't find anybody else, go through the contact us and just go there with the intention of finding out who to contact. Just remember, no matter who you talk to in the organization, whether it's the receptionist, the marketing manager, the customer service rep, tell them you're a copywriter. And everyone that you ever meet, on the plane, anywhere, if you want to be in this space, if you want to be writing copy and content and getting paid very well, tell them you're a copywriter, and they say, what does a copywriter do? I improve your business through writing. I help you make more revenue. I help you bring in more customers. I help you convert those customers to buyers. Whatever it is, your job as a writer is to improve their business through writing. A couple things just to keep in mind, some best practices. Remember, first impressions are crucial. You want to make a good first impression. Honestly, approaching clients is just like dating. You're not trying to propose marriage on the first date, but you want to make a good first impression. The intention here is to start a relationship when you reach out. Don't say, here's the piece of content I want to write, and if they say no, that's it, you walk away. No, it's let me figure out who your business is. Let me tell you what I can do for you, and I'm going to be here on a regular basis. And then follow up. Keep that relationship warm, because you never know the timing. The chance that you present a video script the day that I'm thinking, hey, I need a new video script written, is unlikely. That first email is going to hit me on the right day. But if you stay in touch with me 2 weeks from now when I'm working on my next project and we want to incorporate a video script, I'm going to say, oh, hey, that Karen Russell, she does video scripts. She's been emailing me. Let me go get her contact details. So remember, that's your intention when you're reaching out to clients. You're just trying to develop a relationship. You want them to know who you are and what you can do for them, and then keep that relationship going. Keep that conversation going so that when they do need that thing that you do, they'll remember you, and they'll be willing to give you a chance. So if you're ready to get started, the next steps from here, and I'm going to open it up for questions in just a minute, but we have put together a guide. It's written by my partner, Katie Yackel. Learn how to write persuasively. No matter what, that is the key to being a successful paid writer. It's being able to write persuasively no matter what you're doing. Whether you're trying to sell, whether you're trying to write content, you want to learn how to write persuasively. So we have a tutorial for on copywriting, and there's the URL. And actually, I just realized that URL is wrong. It's actually thewriterslife.com/Writers Digest. I will make sure that you get the correct URL, and I will change that address as soon as we're done. So it will be www.thewriterslife.com/Writers Digest. And I will also make that link work, but if you try to go to it right now, it will not be correct. So it's thewriterslife.com/Writers Digest. And then choose the project from this presentation that you want to write, and identify your 20 dream clients. Go find them using the tools, the steps that I just walked through, to make a list of your clients, and then start following them through. And remember, your goal here is to create a relationship, to start a relationship. We're not looking to get married on the first date. We're looking to build a long-term relationship. Oh, there's the right link. So it's to learn more about copywriting and to download that special report, you're going to go to thewriterslife.com/Writers Digest, and then you can contact me. I have my own website. It's at RebeccaMatter.com. You can reach me through AWAI. You can connect with me on Facebook. I'm on there on a daily basis. That's at Rebecca Matter Write. And then if you want to email me, if you have questions, if you read the report and you realize, or what did she say about this, or did I misunderstand that, just email me. Like I said at the beginning, I love my job. I love to help writers. I work with writers on a daily basis, and there's nothing that starts my day better than receiving an email, which almost happens on a daily basis, or a Facebook message saying, oh my gosh, Rebecca, thank you so much. This is what just happened, or I just landed this client, or I just made this much money, or I was charging $1,000 and now I'm charging $2,000, and the client didn't even balk at it, or they hired me to write a video script, and I did what you said, and I presented the autoresponders and content, and now the project went from $1,000 to $5,000, or I just quit my job. I mean, this is what I get every single day. It's the most amazing job in the world, and I welcome you to reach out to me anytime. I would love to talk to you, answer your questions, and just help you get started down this path. So with that, I thank you for listening to me today, and I will be happy to stay here and answer your questions. And I see a lot of questions. So hopefully we're going to clear out the questions that have to do with technical stuff. But I will start at the top and start answering. Okay, so the first question is from Oliver. Do you have any suggestions, opportunities for writers living in South Africa? So this is a question I get a lot, and that's location. Where do you need to live in order to take advantage of any of these opportunities? For the most part, it doesn't matter where you live. Just take a sip of water there. I've been going a mile a minute, as you've heard. It doesn't matter where you live. And the key here is not to promote where you live. It doesn't really matter. As long as you can write in English and you're able to meet your deadlines, I never meet my writers face-to-face. I know some of them because they've attended our events. They've come to our Fast Track to Copywriting Success Bootcamp and Job Fair, and so I've had the chance to meet them. But for the most part, we never meet. So it doesn't matter where you live. And I have writers working in Canada. I have a writer working in Ireland. I have a writer working in Australia. So it doesn't matter. The key is to present yourself as a quality writer. What is it that you do well? What is it that you bring to the table? And then do it. It doesn't matter. So, now with things like Skype, you can actually have a phone number that rings through as though it's a U.S. phone number. People can email you and access you anytime. Don't even worry about it. Unless your country or unless your affiliation with your country benefits you, like let's say you are going after Australian clients and you live in Australia, it might benefit you to say, I understand the Australian reader better because I am an Australian, something like that. If it benefits you, great. Otherwise, I really wouldn't worry about it. What is cold calling? So cold calling is if you were to pick up the phone and just say, hi, my name is Rebecca Matter. I'm interested in writing for you. Obviously, you would say something a little more eloquent than that and be a little bit more tactful and what's, I would like to help you convert more of your readers to buyers or something like that. But cold calling is basically just picking up the phone and calling someone who has no idea who you are and has never heard from you before. You don't really need to do it. Some people are really good at it. Some people are really bad at it. Some people aren't comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with it. If you're good at it, go for it, man. If you're comfortable picking up the phone, do it. If not, though, that's actually one of the last ways that we teach to reach out to prospective clients. We focus more on methods that are more comfortable for a lot of people, whether it's emails or writing and that kind of thing. So cold calling, the definition is just picking up the phone and calling someone who doesn't know you, but it's not one of the methods that we recommend most writers use. If a prospective client, I don't know how to make this bigger. Oh, there it is. If a prospective client wants to see a sample of your writing, but you are just starting out, what should you do? Write anything. I mean, hopefully, if you're a writer, you have a sample of something. And if you don't, I hope all of you will walk away from this presentation with at least one example of an opportunity that you want to write, and then just write a sample. Another thing is if you're taking programs, like all of AWAI programs, all of our training programs have exercises in them. If you're taking any kind of program that has an exercise, use that as a sample. Clients don't really care about a true, and I'm using air quotes here, and I realize that you can't see me, they don't care about real samples that have mailed to other people. They just want to see, can you write? Can I see what your tone is? Can I see what your style is so that I can see if it would be a fit for us? So you can write a sample of anything. You can write a sample email. Just write it for a product of theirs. Write it for, write just a few samples. That's another reason why I recommend picking an industry or a niche, so you can have a couple of samples that would be relevant to the client. So just write a couple of samples. It doesn't need to be anything formal. And again, if you're taking AWAI's programs, use our exercises as samples. Like in the copywriting course, we walk you through an email, we walk you through a landing page, we walk you through a sales letter. We give you an assignment to do from beginning to end so that when you are done with the program, you actually have samples that you can show clients. But you can do that with anything. You can create samples for yourself. All right. If you have any questions, go ahead and post. I'm going through them now, but if you do have questions, I will continue to answer them as long as they will let me. See, how do I go about getting clients? So I walked through that section. Hopefully your question has been answered now. We do have other information on the AWAI website. If you just go to awaionline.com, you'll be able to search in our search bar for getting clients. We have a great report that we're actually repurposing right now, or updating with even more ways of getting clients, but it's called Getting Your First Client. And it's going to walk through a dozen different ways and show you based on what your personality type is and what you're comfortable with. Whether you like cold calling, whether you don't like cold calling, it'll walk you through the best ways for you to land clients. Do you have to have a degree or training in marketing? No. When it comes to copywriting, now, there are colleges, there are universities and things that are doing more with the field of copywriting now. And, I have an undergraduate in marketing, but my main marketing person never even went to college, and most of my copywriters, I wouldn't be able to tell you what kind of degree they have, or if they even went to college. So at the end of the day, the reason I hired them was because they were good writers. If you can be a good writer, if you can be a good writer, if you are a good writer, not necessarily a good speaker, but if you're a good writer, that's all that's going to matter. Can you do the job? Do you understand the purpose of what it is that you're writing, and can you engage your readers? You don't have to have a degree. Now, taking a course, again, like AWAI six-figure copywriting course, is good because you'll be able to say, I've taken this program, and you'll be able to reference a lot of what we teach you when you're talking to clients, which will just improve your value that much more. But you don't have to have a real degree. And you're going to see things out there where people are saying you have to have this or you have to have that certification or whatever. That's a bunch of malarkey. At the end of the day, all I care about, I'm a marketer who hires writers. I'm not just someone who trains copywriters, but I genuinely hire writers every single day. All I'm looking for is, are you a good writer? Do you understand our business? Do you understand what we're trying to do? Do you understand our audience? And can you write to them in a way that engages, that you put out quality content because you're writing on our behalf? That's all I'm looking for. How do I establish a fee standard that is suitable to me? There are lots of things that go into creating your own fee schedule. Knowing the fees that I have given you, that's kind of what the industry is expecting to pay and what you should be expecting to receive. But you still have to think about the value of your time. And the value of your time is going to change as you become more and more successful, as you get more effective, as you become more efficient. Your fees will adapt as you get bigger. Once you're maxed out and you can't take on any more clients, it's time for you to start raising your fees, because those lower clients, the ones who were paying you at the lower end of the scale, need to drop off, and you need to be able to get the next level of clients in. So your fee schedule will change, but you need to think about where you are in this whole process. You have the basic place where the numbers I've given you are kind of where you start. And then from there, just think about the value of your time. How much time are you spending? Is this project worth your time? Oftentimes, too, you'll talk to a client about the scope, and some of these questions are going to get a little bit more detailed. So if I start to say something that's way over your head, just think, whoa, I'm not going to listen to this. I'm just going to remember the basic stuff Rebecca talked about today, and I'll follow up with that question when I'm ready for it. But typically, you will sit down with a client, or you'll talk to them about the scope of a project. How long of the email does it need to be? And because of that, because the scope will change with each client, you oftentimes won't just have a set rate. Like, I always charge $500 for sales emails. It might vary depending on who the client is, how much money they're going to be making, and how long the project is going to take you. So it's good for you to have a range, but if you follow the fees in this presentation, that'll be a good starting point. Do you have any tips on using a pen name? There's no right or wrong to it. I can tell you, I wish I had used a pen name at the end of the day, just because now, just as you continue on your business, it's difficult if you use your real name to, and this is if you're publishing under your own name. If you want to write, let's say, the Great American Novel, you might decide to use your name when you're writing in the pet industry. You might want to use a pen name so that there isn't a conflict when people are searching for one or the other. So really, I always recommend to use a name that matches your initials, just because it's easy to remember, and it just helps the clients down the line remember who it was who actually wrote that piece. But other than that, there's no right or wrong to it. One thing I would say, if you are going to use a pen name, go for a pen name where the domain name is available. So go to GoDaddy.com and search for the name, because when you get into the promotion side, if you want people to be able to find you, you want people to be able to find your name on the internet. And so it's great to have a name that isn't already being used out there. Like let's say your name is also Rebecca Matter, or you were thinking about using my name as a pen name. I've pretty much got the lock on the name Rebecca Matter. So if you're going to be, Rebecca Matter butterfly specialist, it's going to be difficult for people to find you. And so look to see what else is out there before you choose a pen name. How is Google rewarding individual writers? So most of you, if you're on Google and you use Google social media called Google Plus, you'll notice that when you go to your search results in Google now, you will see things at the very top of your screen that are people in your Google Plus circles or things that are recommended because of who you're affiliated with. Now, people who write a lot, every time they write something, they attach their Google Plus profile to that thing. So Google sees, okay, Rebecca, you have 237 articles out there, and we've deemed them as quality content. So we are going to display your stuff above person over here who only has 2 articles, or person over here whose content we've deemed as not as high of quality. So that's how they're rewarding you. Your stuff, the stuff that's tied to your name, is getting higher search results in Google. So companies might come to me because they know that if my name is attached to it, they might get better placement. And I'm not even one of the big influencers. There are other people out there who write a heck of a lot more than me. And so as you get out there and as you're writing more and more, Google is going to reward you with better placement. And so companies are going to come to you because you can get them better placement just because you wrote the content. Jenny is saying, it's very good that the internet has opened an avenue for writers to showcase their writing talents without the confines of traditional journalism or publishing. Is that right? Absolutely. I mean, there has never been, and I think we're going to see even more of this in the coming years. It's unfortunate for the old industries, both journalism and publishing, in that they were forced to change. I remember when I first started in the publishing industry, the fear of online publishing. The publisher that I worked for did not want any of their stuff being published online. And now, fast forward, there's no choice. You can't not publish your book on Kindle. You would be wasting the opportunity for so many buyers, so many readers to see your content. And I mean, like in the self-published area, we have writers now who are becoming bestsellers who never even went through a publishing house, just because they can get their content out there faster. They can get their content can be promoted by other high-profile authors that are relevant to their topic. And once people start reading your stuff, I mean, the influence of readers online now is far greater than anything a publisher can do on a marketing level. My mom's name is Becky Masterman, if you want to look her up. She published a book this year called Rage Against the Dying. And the social media stuff, the influence of readers of her book far outweighed anything the publisher could do. And the publisher got her into, AARP's best summer reading list. And, she was on the New York Times. She got a great review there. I mean, she got reviews everywhere. But the influence of people sharing the book and recommending it, it's amazing how much faster that stuff can drive sales than anything else. So the internet has opened up a great opportunity for more writers to get out there, for more writers to be published. And again, like I was saying, because companies are forced to publish so much content on their websites now, they need more writers, which means that many more writers can now get their name out there. We used to publish AWAI when I started. American writers published one e-letter once a week. So one writer got the spotlight and got their name out there once a week. Now, at least a dozen writers get their names out there every week through our stuff. That just shows we're a tiny company, but it just shows the exposure that writers can get now is just so much greater than it used to be. Is it easier to get a job with direct response mailings if you've previously worked in direct mail? It can help. The same thing as if you've had sales background. It can be helpful because you'll probably be able to talk the talk a little bit faster. But as long as if you read through AWAI's accelerated program for six-figure copywriting, you will be able to talk the talk. You will understand. We go through all the words of direct response. It will be you'll understand direct response copy, and you'll be able to represent yourself as a true direct response professional. So don't feel like you have to have a sales background or that you have to have worked in direct marketing. Again, if you did, you can use that to your advantage. I mean, I've been in direct response all my career, so I can definitely, go head to head with almost anybody in this field, to get myself in the door. But again, the way we write our programs, you can get up to speed very quickly. And if you have any experience in any industry, whether it's teaching, solar technology, if you're a nurse practitioner, I don't care what you are, if you have any experience in an industry, you will beat out the competitor any day of the week. If you have a background, and I just use this as an example because it's very specific. Let's say you have a background in solar technology, and you have 10 years of experience working for a solar technology company. I have 15 years of copywriting experience. You and I go head-to-head for the exact same job for a solar technology company writing their copy. Who do you think is getting the job? You are. Every day of the week, you're going to beat me out just because you have that experience. So no matter what your experience is, you have a leg up on every other copywriter out there because you have that industry experience. It's so much easier for you to learn copywriting than it would be for me to ever understand your industry and all the time, everything that's in your head that you've acquired over all the years of your career. Is the $2,000 to $10,000 in annual income? I'm guessing this was when I was talking about direct response sales letters. No, that's per letter. So that's, a 5-page, 8-page, 10-page, 15-page, 20-page sales letter. That's the flat rate. That's the fee that you get paid to write the letter. And the royalties are oftentimes on top of that. So I know copywriters who write 4 sales letters a year, and they get the royalties for those for the rest. For as long as that letter is mailed, they continue to get the royalties. The next year, they write 4 more letters. Maybe one of their letters isn't being mailed anymore, but the first 3 were, and the next 4 are still being mailed. So now they're getting royalties on 7 letters, and on and on and on and on and on. I mean, I know copywriters now who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars who are only writing 1 letter a year. They're just banking on their royalties and refreshing old letters that they wrote. And they're not even really that. There are some of these copywriters who really aren't even that great of copywriters. They just happen to get out there and do the work, and they're making great money at it. In direct response letter writing, do you typically have any control over what is on the outside of the envelope or what quote may be highlighted and set off within the letter? In other words, do you get to influence the packaging of the letter? You can. It will depend on your client, but yes, when you submit the sales letter, you oftentimes will say, here's the teaser copy, and that's the stuff that goes on the outside of the envelope. And in your Word document, where your copy is submitted, you will have things bolded and highlighted as you would like them to appear in the final piece. Now, the marketer may change it if they have experience, but for the most part, we typically let the copywriter drive how they want their sales letter presented when it goes to design, what it actually looks like. The fee for direct response sales letter looks great. However, how much of that is determined by the writer's experience? It'll depend. For the most part, if you have written any samples in the past, or if you have any sample at all to show, it's not really going to matter whether you have a year of experience, 10 years of experience, 1 client, 10 clients. The only time that your experience is going to come into play is if you have a lot of experience, and then you can make a lot more money. Out of the gate, the initial experience isn't really going to impact your fee. It will a little bit. I mean, you might not be able to get $10,000 for your first sales letter that you write, but again, it's really going to depend on the industry and how much money the client is going to make from that sales letter. But if you have a lot of experience, once you have 5 letters under your belt, you should start bumping up your fees. So it doesn't matter on the low end, but as the more experience you get, the higher your fees will become. Are sponsorship letters considered direct response sales letters? I'm not quite sure what you mean by sponsorship packages, but if you could restate the question, Megan, I'll be happy to answer it when I get down to that letter, that section of the Q&A. If you can just maybe ask it in a different way. But I can tell you a direct response sales letter, the reason you know it's direct response is that there's a strong call to action at the end. If it's a letter and the final thing is driving you to take an action, whether it's to buy something, sign up for something, make a phone call, whatever it is, then it is a direct response letter.
Hey, Rebecca, this is Sue.
Hi, Sue.
I don't mean to interrupt, but
oh, no.
But we probably should be wrapping this up, so if you will just take a couple more questions, and then we will wrap it up. There are really a lot of questions in here.
There are a ton of questions. Is there any way that I can get a list of these questions and maybe I can email? I'm trying to think if we could post like a follow-up where they could attend another webinar, or I could answer these all in a video and we can get them out to everybody.
Absolutely. I can send these to you, and we can add it to go in with the thank you email when we send out the recording.
Okay, good. So what I'll do then is I'll answer a couple more questions, cut me off when I need to get cut off, and then if I don't get to your questions, everyone, I will personally take this list. I will go and continue to record as though we were live on this webinar. I will send the recording to Stu, and she'll be able to post it with the thank you note.
That sounds great. Good. Okay.
Okay,
so just take a couple more questions and then wrap it up.
Okay. Oh, now I have to choose. Okay. Linda wants to know, how does the AWAI program work? It's hard to explain. It's a program that you're going to go through. It's just like any other kind of coursework that you would imagine. But you'll go through the program, and we work through a series of exercises and assignments with you. So as we're teaching you stuff, we're having you do exercises so that you're comfortable working through these pieces, and so that you have samples to show at the end. We also show you how to get clients. But honestly, if anyone on the call is interested in the six-figure program, I just recommend buying it. Not just because I want you to buy the program, but because we have a full-year guarantee. AWAI has been around for so long, since 1997. You just take the program. If you're even thinking about it, just take it. If you don't like it, if a month from now you decide, this isn't for me, or if you go all the way through it, and go out there and try to work and land clients and write sales letters, and even at the end of the year you decide, you know what, I'm not happy, I don't want to do this anymore, just call us, and you can either take another program or we'll totally refund your money. We've never turned away somebody who said, I decided I don't want to do this. As you'll soon see, AWAI is it's an awesome company, not just because I work for it, but just call any of the member services reps. The ladies are the nicest bunch of ladies you'll ever meet. They genuinely care. Everybody's worked with us for so long because they just love their jobs. They love being part of this community. So if you're on the fence about, if you want to take the program, just take it. I think the deal that we have for Writer's Digest typically is 60% off. So it's, I want to say $197. And if you go to our website or you go to thewriterslife.com/Writer's Digest, you'll be able to get more information on it. And just take it. Go through it. And again, if you don't like it, you'll just get your money back. It's really, we make it really, really easy for you. Do you have to take the AWAI program to be a successful copywriter? No. Will it help you be a successful copywriter? Absolutely. But no, you don't need to take it, Justin. There are definitely other ways. And we offer a lot of free content on our website. The reason we have the program and why I push people towards the program is that it saves a lot of the time you'll have to spend figuring out if content that you find on the internet is right or wrong. Everything that we teach you is proven. It's based on the teachings and trainings of very successful copywriters today. The whole program came about because the man behind it, Michael Masterson, his real name is Mark Ford, but that was his pen name. He now publishes under Mark Ford, though, trained a bunch of copywriters on how to do this, and they realized, if we could train you guys, we could train others. And so they created this program based on an actual training program that was put together for copywriters, and it's been now, it's one of the most successful programs out there. And so I believe in it. I know people have taken it and been successful. So do you need to take it? No. Will it help you? Absolutely. Oh, if I can answer one more, I'm just trying to see if I can answer one that would help the most people. Oh, I bet a lot of people have this feeling. I've been running a blog for 10 years now, and this makes me feel like I've been throwing my time away. Don't feel that way, Samuel, because at the end of the day, all of the experience that you put into your blog, all those words that you've written will come around and benefit you well, whether it's because you've just got the experience now, you're comfortable putting pen to paper or typing your keys, you can now turn that experience into this successful writing business. We also have lots of information on the AWAI website and through programs on how to monetize that blog. So there might be a way for you to still use all of that content, even if it's that you republish it through other people. We need online content, so I don't know what area it's in, but you did not waste your time. It still is a valuable asset, and you can turn it into something that can launch this new business for yourself.